At the divorce meeting, my ex-husband laughed and said I would walk away empty-handed. He even winked at his lawyer. I simply slid a folder across the table. Proof of his hidden accounts, offshore transfers, and an illegal contract. His lawyer whispered, "We're finished." That laughter still stings my ears today. That laughter in the conference room, dry, victorious, like someone dragging their nails across glass. I looked at my ex-husband, Mark, sitting across the table from me. He leaned his chair back, bounced his crossed leg, and winked at his lawyer. "She'll walk away empty-handed," he said as casually as if he were commenting on the weather. The air conditioning in the room was cold, but sweat glistened at the back of my neck. I took a deep breath. It wasn't a new breath. It was the same one I had taken for years, every time a credit card bill arrived, every time the kids' school fees went up, every time I sat listening to hold music from an insurance company while watching the clock. It was the breath of restraint, practiced and quiet. We were in Toledo, Ohio. Outside the glass walls, December light looked pale and candle-cold. Dirty piles of snow sat frozen in the parking lot. That morning I had stopped at the local diner, Riverside Grill, and ordered black coffee, no sugar, no creamer. My stomach was empty, but my mind was full, crowded with numbers, memories, and decisions that had already been made. Mark had always laughed in the middle of serious conversations. He used to say laughter relieved stress. In truth, he used it to shrink the person across from him. His lies were the same way, light, weightless, delivered casually, yet built to last. "It's just a business trip," he would say, and later I would find airport parking receipts tucked into the bottom of his bag. "Our account is joint," he would insist, while I stared at zeros on the banking app late at night. That day, I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I slid a folder across the table. Plain. Blue. No drama. The papers inside felt heavy, as if they were breathing. Inside were statements from hidden accounts, records of offshore transfers routed through the Cayman Islands, and a contract, one he had signed beneath my name. Illegal. Forged. I had assembled every page one night at a time, after the kids were asleep, sitting at the kitchen table under a yellow lamp while the heater hummed inside the walls. Mark's lawyer flipped through the pages. A deep line appeared on his forehead, then stayed there. He leaned toward Mark and whispered, "We're finished." It wasn't cinematic. It sounded tired, like a doctor naming a disease that had been ignored for too long. My mind began replaying the years like a screen looping old footage. We stood outside Maumee Valley Mall, trying to buy shoes for the kids. I opened the calculator app. Mark rolled his eyes. "You're always talking about money," he said, as if money were something vulgar, not rent, health insurance, and school fees. That night he ordered takeout, burgers and fries. I split mine between the kids. He didn't notice. Life in my city had never looked like television. Here, living paycheck to paycheck wasn't a phase, it was a rhythm. People adjusted their moods to the weather, silent in January, soaked and irritable in July. In Ottawa Park, parents walked their kids in the evenings, then sat on benches quietly calculating future costs in their heads. Everyone smiled. Everyone was tired. The room went silent. Mark stopped laughing. He straightened in his chair. "What is this?" he asked, his voice thinner now, stripped of confidence. It was the first time I had seen him without his armor. I said one word, accounting. Nothing more. No lecture. No victory speech. My lawyer stepped in. He was a careful man, the kind who always kept his pen aligned in his pocket. He spoke in the language of law, but it was the same truth I had repeated to myself through countless sleepless nights. Justice wasn't a leap. It was a staircase. One step at a time. Banks, taxes, signatures. You paused at each step to keep from falling. Outside, the snow intensified. White dots raced down the window. I thought about the kids. Emma had a habit of spinning her pen while doing homework. Lucas questioned everything. "Mom, is everything going to be okay?" he had asked me once. I had always answered, "We'll try." That day, I repeated it silently. The decision didn't come quickly. Real life demands patience. Months passed. Accounts were frozen. Investigations followed the contract. Mark's world slowly narrowed. The same man who once filled rooms with laughter now spoke quietly on the phone, often saying nothing at all. I changed jobs. I rented a small apartment. I cooked simple meals with the kids, mac and cheese, soup, pizza on rare Fridays. We kept walking in the park. I watched my credit card balances shrink. It felt like a modest celebration every time one disappeared. In the end, the court did what it usually does for ordinary people. No applause. No music. Justice in documents. Illegal money returned. Child support set. The weight of truth placed squarely on his shoulders. As I walked out of the courtroom, I took the same breath I had taken at the beginning, but this time it felt lighter. Back at Riverside Grill, I ordered black coffee again. Outside, the sun had come out, melting the snow. I looked at my reflection in the window. Broken, yes. Scattered, no. I paid the bill, put on my coat, and walked toward my kids' school. Life doesn't look like television. But it keeps moving. And so do I.